welcome in to another OG NBA episode. We're -1 today, minus our guy Dutch Boy Fresh, but he'll be back with us Tuesday. I have to think about what day it is today. So always good to be with my guys. I'll go around the horn really quick. Urbano, how's everything been for you? NBA treating you well? You doing okay today?
Yeah, it was a pretty good night last night for me in the NBA. We ended up plus at the end of the night when we with the a lot of the calls were good. We had Cleveland, we had Raptors over, which cashed at the last second. We had the Heat, and we had the Clippers in the late night hours. I laid the number with the Clippers in Phoenix last night, and I said I just like what I'm seeing from this Clippers team, and I can't believe I'm doing this, but I'm really starting to buy into the Clippers a little bit. I can't believe I'm saying that with Harden, with George and Leonard. You never know if they're how long they're going to stay healthy, but they are playing some really good basketball right now. They've moved their way up, ascended up the Western Conference standings, and look, they keep those three guys healthy and on the floor. They can compete with anybody in the West.
Sarsky.
They do look good. I can't deny they do look a little.
But there is
good.
still the playoff question: can they do it in the spring? Right? Can they do it at playoff time? Can they stay healthy enough to be there?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm disappointed in myself for not being on the Clippers yesterday. I just overthought that game. I overthought a lot of stuff yesterday, and I didn't have a good night. So I'm trying not to overthink here today. Wham Bam. Hopefully you've had a good start to your new year. How's everything been with you? And how's their NBA been treating you lately?
Yeah, NBA been straight. Yesterday I gave up a little bit with the live plays. I took the Memphis Grizzlies live right before they gave up a big run. John Moran just got out all those crazy sequence of events after that I made that bet. So I was terrible there. But we did continue to cash with the Hawks at the house early. Hawks at the house early is continue to cash. So that was a good look yesterday. We got to continue to do those type of things. And then today, small slate, so I'm really looking into zero in, locking in with you guys. Haven't made a single bet. I got two bets that I'm really close on making. I want to lock in with you guys here. But since we don't have, we got a lot of time here, so don't want to be too quick to the hip there. But I'm really thinking this start of the season and the way the way the NBA is starting to look seemed a little bit more clear. We kind of know what type of teams is going on right now. We know the tendencies with certain players. So I'm really interested in talking about this today with you guys, because there's some games that we're talking about today that, tendencies of players and what we've seen so far is kind of not what we're expecting, like Victor Wembanyama and stuff like that. So really interested to talk about that with y'all today.
Yeah, let's get to it. It's not my fault this time. Getting on me about being late in the chat. It's not my fault this time. It's not my fault this time. That's all I can say. But let's get to
It's
it.
never my fault. I can tell you that.
We only got 2 games, y'all. Golly. Which I want to out of here at 120? Like shit.
I did give a New Year's resolution that I would try to stop being late, though. So that's why they're on me. They say New Year's resolution down the drain already.
Tardy free ski in the new year. There you go.
Like that. Let's get to it then. Fuck it.
All right, first game up, 553, 554, Milwaukee, and heading into San Antonio. Opened up Bucks -10.5. I did sometimes see it dip down to 9, but we're back up to 10.5 everywhere. Total open 249.5. I want to say I saw that dip down to around 247.5 ish or something like that. And I see it back up to 249 as it's right now. Injury report. And let me hit refresh. So earlier for the Bucks, Middleton was on there, but he's no longer. Looks like he should be available today. That's probably why we see it move back to the Bucks and a move back to the over. Crowder is going to be out for this matchup. For the Spurs, looks like Branham is doubtful. Zach Collins and McDermott both out for this game. So I want to come to you for this one, Ian. And this Spurs team, I mean, they've been a team where they're at home, you just bet their game's over. They've only gone under, I think, 3 times so far at the house. The Bucks, 4-0 to the over without rest. Is this game that simple where, both teams play up tempo and get up and over the number?
I think so. I remember I think one of my best bets earlier this season on the show was Bucks and Spurs over just a few weeks ago in December. They played in Milwaukee, and it's actually, I think it was on the Skee's card that night as well. And it was one of those games where it just got itself over the total in the last few seconds of that game. But it got there. We got to 251. It was 132, 119 for Milwaukee. The game just went over the total. I think it's probably a similar game. Like it may not be a easy ride, to cash this bet. There could be some lulls in the scoring at times, and it might be close to the number at the end, but I think it'll get up and over that number. I certainly can't recommend an under with what I've seen out of Milwaukee. Certainly defensively, what happened to them last night against Indiana, just at a dreadful showing at that end of the court. 142, they allowed the Pacers to shoot 56% for the game, 40% from three-point range. Halliburton went off 31 points, 50% from the field. Turner chipped in 15. Jalen Smith, 13 points. They got Bruce Brown, 15. They got 3 guys off the bench for the Pacers. Buddy Hield, Benedict Mathurin, and Obi Toppin getting into double digits as well. So everybody got their cookies last week for the Indiana Pacers against this Milwaukee team. So, this is, to me, going to keep Milwaukee from winning the East if they don't fix this. These defensive issues. It's fine to have one of the great inside-out tandems in the league and duos in the league in Giannis and Dame, but my goodness, you've got to absolutely figure it out defensively, and they still haven't. And we're talking now closing in on the All-Star break now. We're getting close to the first, midpoint of the season, and you still have not really ratcheted things up at that end of the court consistently. So that's an issue for me. We know San Antonio is not a team we trust to be good defensively, especially when they play good offensive teams. After what I saw from Memphis last night against Toronto, I would take it with a grain of salt that they only gave up 106 to Memphis the other night, San Antonio. Memphis has issues right now shooting the ball and getting offense at the moment. That's been a problem for the Grizz the last few games. So I wouldn't give the Spurs too much credit for playing better defensively at Memphis in that game. They still lost, but they were better defensively. When they play a good offensive team, and the Bucks certainly are, especially with Middleton, and everyone looks like they're going to play tonight. 134 they allowed to Boston, 130 to Utah, 144 for Luka and the Mavericks they put on this San Antonio team. So they've been absolutely ripped apart by very good teams offensively, and Milwaukee is certainly, for their defensive issues, they're a very good offensive team. So, we saw obviously 251 with these teams on December 19th. You mentioned how San Antonio, especially at home, they've been over machines, and they've been going over the total quite a bit on this home floor. And we've seen their games at home get into the 250s in a lot of instances as well. So for me, that's the clear choice here. Over 240. 8.5, I believe, is what we can get here. Yeah, 248.5 is out there for this total, Bucks and Spurs.
I like it. I think I might have to get involved with that here. Bucks have also went over 12 of their last 17 games. Yeah. Another thing too, coming off a game versus the Pacers, I just kind of feel like those games are hard to get back to, whatever normal pace. And the Bucks like to play fast anyway. So I think they'll continue to play fast. Wham Bam, I know you love the player props. And I did see somebody celebrating the birthday today. Yep. You buying into the birthday narrative? You think Wemby has a good night tonight?
Man, I at least think he gets 30 minutes at least. Golly, like, fuck, it's his birthday. Let him play. Let him play on his birthday. That's what I'm thinking. And he's actually been averaging just about a double-double. He hasn't had a double-double since December 17th, though. I think we could get to the double-double with him, man. They so terrible at rebounding. They got to be able to get to those boards today against a team that you said, they really terrible on the defense, like you mentioned, Babano. Everything you mentioned, I don't think it's going to stop. They have to make some type of trade, some type of personnel adjustment. Once they lost Drew Holiday, the meats and the skeleton of this team is pretty much stripped out. Now you're relying on, Dane to be a lot better defensively, which is not going to happen. And then, it's going to be combating on offense. So, yes, I do agree with this over because I think it's going to be what we've been seeing from these teams so far. But I think the only thing that changes is, like you said, bro, the narrative. You got to do it. It's the boy's birthday today. How old he turned? He turned 20. Golly, let the boy let him get at least 20 points, 10 rebounds, Get to this double-double. It's plus money, plus 120. I think the narrative is there. I like Victor get the double-double tonight at plus money, plus 120. That's where I'm going to take a stab at. But for the most part, bro, I agree with everything you're saying with this over. I'm right there with you. I'm going to take that. Just want to keep that in mind that I honestly think that this is going to be more of a close game than it is. So I do kind of lean towards the Spurs here, just because this is a national TV game. They can't just let this boy Victor go out like that against this team that we know that's going to give up offense. So I like Victor though to get the double-double, but I'm right there with you guys with that over. I'm going to put that in as well.
Yeah, you said something as far as you think it's going to be a closer game, and I have to think so too. Bucks, third game in 4 nights, road, back to back. That's one of the toughest spots to play in the association. And Giannis and Dame, they both played 35 plus minutes last night. I just looking at them on the back to back right now. They played, I think, 4 games. They haven't won by double digits in any of them. When they play lesser competition, Bucks are what 4-10 ATS, 45%. I mean, not 45%. They're 4-10 ATS versus less than 45% win teams. It's not a whole lot to like for this Bucks team. Even if they, are having a good offensive night, defense can let the Spurs back into the game, and it's just hard for me to see them covering this number, this spot. So I'm liking the Spurs a little bit here. You put that together with the over, I guess that gives you Spurs team total over. But that's how we feel about it here.
I'd probably go with Lillard and Chris Middleton as well for point props in this. I think he had a huge game, Damian Lillard, last month against 40 points he had in that game. Middleton's been trending over his point prop too, as well of late. And you're only asking for his point prop tonight to be, 15 and a half, 16 and a half. You can probably get over that number. He's been in good form lately. That shooting stroke is working right now for Chris Middleton and his buck teeth, as I like to call him. He's got the big buck teeth, Chris Middleton. I always think he looks like a woodchuck, out there on the basketball court. But Middleton's been shooting good lately.
Yeah, he's been in real good motion. I forgot to mention that as well, bro. You right on the money. Just I always think about that horse game that they had in All-Star Weekend, how fucking skillful he is. He's really in back to that form. So I agree. Middleton is definitely a good look right there. I agree with that.
So we gave you guys enough stuff where you can put together something to get to the window with in this game. Everybody liking a little bit of something different. So good stuff on this one, and we'll move on over to the next, which is 555, 556. Denver Nuggets heading into Golden State. This game opened up Nuggets -3. They're about a 3.5-point favorite right now. Total opened 233.5, and it looks like 234.5 as the consensus. For the injury report, I see Reggie Jackson game time decision for the Nuggets and Golden State, but he's probable. So expect him to be out there. Draymond and Gary Payton II are going to be out for Golden State. So I'm coming to you with this one here, Wham Bam. You got to you always got to let us know. Are we getting Clay? Are we getting Clank? And are there any other props that we can look at in this game? Jackson Davis getting a lot more minutes. How are you looking at Nuggets versus Warriors?
Oh, yeah, the boy Clay, man. Golly, bro. He's really very close to the money last game. But I think we got to continue to get Clay in this game here. This is a game where I think that the Golden State Warriors are definitely live. They're definitely live here. The only thing that I have, the only thing that's stopping me from taking them, because I love the way they played against Orlando. I thought Orlando played really tough against them. The only thing that's stopping me from taking them here is because we know that the down low, they're gonna get killed, bro. Like, it's just not any other way around that shit. Like, they're gonna get killed. Jokic is gonna go crazy. Even if they had Draymond down there doing all the antics, elbowing, doing spin the Rooskies and all that shit, I don't think it's gonna help. I don't think it's gonna help, bro. I don't think it will help. I think he's gonna go crazy. But I do agree with KC here. I think Kuminga is going to have a good game. He's really finding his groove. The more Draymond is out the game, the better Kuminga is going to look, bro. I just think that's just like how it is. He's really Draymond's replacement. Trade Draymond already, y'all. Sorry. Just get rid of him. Don't bring him to our team. I don't want him on the Lakers. I'm just going to tell y'all the truth. I don't want him on the Lakers. I mean, unless he really out here just socking people out. And you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? We need him to do something, but neither here nor there. I like this. I want to take the Nuggets first quarter, because obviously we've been taking the first quarter. The only thing that stopping me from doing that is because the way the line is, they're at 3.5 full game. Why are they why are they 1.5, 2 in the first quarter? I think that there's way too many people liking this first quarter for the Warriors, and this may be a spot where the Warriors come out here and shock us and come out hot early here. So something is telling me to take the Warriors in this game, and it's just maybe a sneaky spot. But the only thing that, as far as props that I'm that's standing out to me is Jokic, bro. I'm not gonna think Clay. I'm not gonna think anything on Golden State side. If I'm taking Golden State, I'm gonna just take the money line, thinking they're gonna win this game. I think it's inevitable that Jokic is going to eat tonight. So points, rebounds, and assists is the only way I'm looking here. And I haven't played that yet, but that's the only way I'm looking.
Fair enough. The Nuggets have 2 days rest compared to 1. Nuggets 6-10 as a road favorite, but they have been winning some road games lately. Warriors, I'll say this before I pass to Ian. Before Christmas, they were playing really good basketball. And they won 5 games in a row. And as my girl Casey would say, she would say, it's because they playing their young guys, the guys who are playing well. And I agree with that. They changed the lineup up even. They put more minutes for Kuminga, put him in the starting lineup. Pods was in the starting lineup, getting more minutes. And then on Christmas, they took an L to this Nuggets team. And they played them competitively. But after that game, he tweaks the lineup again. He goes Jackson Davis over Looney and CP3 over Pods. And they lost 2 more games. And then they have 2 days off. I think when you have time off like that, it gives you time to fix whatever was wrong when you get in practice. And they came out and got back on track and got a win versus the Magic. I feel like the Warriors at this point start to trend up a little bit. So, Bobano, on that note, do you agree the Warriors start to trend up? Can it start here tonight?
Yeah, I'm going to put something on Golden State here. I am. I was against them with Orlando the other night. But I was impressed. I thought that was a step in the right direction. It was a good fourth quarter for them. Steph Curry had an outstanding game. And you're right about the youngsters. And look, people have got to pick up the slack, especially in the front court, for this Golden State team. They need it right now. It can't all be Curry. It can't all be Thompson every night. And you get 19 good minutes and 6 rebounds and 4 assists out of Jonathan Kuminga against Orlando. I thought the kid out of Indiana, who I think could be a really solid, I don't know about great NBA player, but he's going to be a solid, productive NBA player if he keeps getting minutes. And that's Trace Jackson Davis, TJD as well. Mm-hmm. I liked his insertion into that starting lineup as well against Orlando. And he chips in as well with a nice effort with 10 points in that game, 4 rebounds. And one thing about these youngsters here and the younger players for Golden State is I think they've given a little bit of adrenaline rush and a bit of a energy boost to the old guard, like the Chris Pauls and the Steph Currys on this team, which I think has been a good thing to see as well. And let's be real, they've given Denver some trouble this year. They've been competitive with Denver. They haven't been blown out, by the Nuggets. 2 meetings this year. Denver won 108-105 on November the 8th at home. And then on Christmas Day, I cashed a ticket with Golden State there. They were getting 7.5, and they lost by 6, 120-114. In fact, Golden State led a good portion of that game on Christmas Day against the Denver Nuggets. So, 2 games where they lost to Denver, but both in Denver, and they were competitive losses. They were pretty much stood toe-to-toe, competitive, wire to wire with a very good defending champion like the Nuggets. And I kind of like to take plus 3.5 now here with Golden State tonight in this spot. And keep in mind the long-term trend of Golden State as a home underdog. This was a spot they beat Boston in. Let's not forget that. And I remember I was on this show that day, Boston at Golden State. Golden State was a very rare home underdog. What happened? They won the game outright in overtime. So I think you get a
132,
good effort from
126, I
Golden State.
believe.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, you get a good effort from Golden State tonight. I like Denver usually, and I get it. And Denver's a great team, and I don't step in front of them only laying 3.5 points lightly. That being said, Golden State's played this team tough. You are still talking about a Denver team that's 14-3 at home compared to only 10-8 straight up on the road. So only a couple of games above 500 on the road. So I'm going to take Golden State here. Not, best bet material for the show, but I'm going to take them here. Golden State plus 3.5. I like Curry over points as well. And I actually like Jamal. Jamal Murray has actually really had good games against Golden State in the past. It kind of feels like Joker defers some of the offense to Jamal Murray when they play this Golden State team. Because if you look at the numbers in recent meetings, Jamal Murray's done a number offensively against Golden State. He's scored at least 26 points in 3 straight meetings. He had a 33-point game against them as well. So definitely interested in some of those. I couldn't talk anyone out of some kind of Kuminga props as well with the production he's been giving Golden State lately. So those would be the props. It's probably for me more of a Jokic rebounds and assists kind of night because he's going to clean up on the glass, but I don't know if he's going to be as much involved in the scoring and the points, knowing that Murray's really had the hot hand against Golden State. So if I like Jokic tonight, and I do, as what WAM said, the matchup is good for Joker tonight, I'd probably lean more a triple-double, certainly. I would sprinkle on that. But more than anything, maybe defer rebounds and assists tonight, more the production from Jokic, and maybe not so much the points tonight.
A lot of good stuff said there, Babano. I want to bring something else up to you guys. And it was brought up on my earlier show. The first quarter, and I don't even have all the stats. And I don't see my guy, I think it was Matt Porter in the chat earlier. But first quarter under 60.5. I believe he was saying that both teams bottom 3 in first quarter pace this season. And 8 out of the last 10 meetings have went under that first quarter total. Denver was really crazy towards the first quarter under so far this season, and the Warriors still had a good record as well. I'm looking at the last 5 games pace. Both bottom 10 there, both top 10 defending the 3. What do you think about a slow start to this game?
Yeah, I think it's possible. And just to further that argument that you're making for first quarter under is that we've had 3 straight full game unders with the Nuggets and the Warriors head to head. And none of those games cracked 234. Like you got 234 on Christmas Day, which is where this total is too. That's actually a little higher than that, 234.5, 235. So you'd be talking 3-0 to the under as well in the last 3 meetings if you set the total at 235.5 where it is right now. I mean, you've seen 222, 213, and 234 in the last 3 meetings. So all 3 fall below this total. So I don't argue that.
You're onto something too, because I'm looking here as you say that the last 10 first quarters for both teams, they have a ROI of over 52 and a quarter percent. So 2 and 8 to the under for both teams in the last 10 games. So that's definitely a good look there as far as the trend wise. Well,
and SKJR in the chat looks like he's got the numbers, long-term numbers for Golden State. It's not as long, 4 years though. It's still a sample size, but it's pretty strong. There they are. I mean, you don't get Golden State as a home underdog all the time, but yeah, pretty good track record, and it is indicated there.
Yeah.
I think they'll play a very competitive game. Will they win? We shall see. Do I think they'll be in the game? Absolutely. So good stuff on there. And we do always do a little bit of a look ahead to Friday. And today we only have 2 games. So a lot of games on the slate for Friday. So they are popping up some lines as we've been talking on this show. Some lines are still not available. But I'll pass it over to you here, Babano. Is there anything that's catching your attention on this Friday slate?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some good options here. Washington, now Cleveland is playing Washington again, and I really like Cavaliers to absolutely embarrass Washington. Maybe not that degree, but I like them off the loss to Toronto, back home against one of the worst teams, and they took care of business. But now you got Washington totally embarrassed. I don't think I'd have the stomach to take Washington, but I got my win with Cleveland. I don't know if I'll lay 10.5 with them again. here on Friday night. I'd probably look over again because these Washington games keep going over the total. Atlanta, Indiana, you can make a case for the over with those two teams, but can you make the case at 264.5? Holy shit, that's got to be the highest total officially that I have seen all season. Atlanta, Indy, but I can't bet it under. I won't bet it under. Not with Atlanta. Not at all with Atlanta can I bet under. Now, I know Indiana's played some unders lately, but not in the, it's still been a heavy over team for the entire season. So it's over or pass. It's a question of can you bet it at 264.5 there. Utah, Boston. I mean, Boston after that tough loss to OKC, it's a bounce back spot for them at home against Utah. I'd probably go Celtics team total over against Utah maybe in that game tomorrow night, bouncing back after the OKC game. I'm interested in the Knicks getting 6 against Philly. I am. 2-0 straight up in ATS since OG Anunoby, 2-0 to the under. They're a better defensive team with him. So the under, I'd probably lean to that, and the Sixers and Knicks as well on Friday night. OKC, Brooklyn. Now, I'm not betting against OKC. It's just, especially off a loss, and it was a brutal spot. And credit to OKC, man. It was a brutal spot against Atlanta, back-to-back after the big win against Boston. They still nearly came back and won in the fourth quarter. But I'm out on Brooklyn right now. They're coming back home off a road trip, a dismal road trip. They are just brutal against the number. I think OKC probably wins and covers as road favorites there in that game. Brooklyn's just in a bad way right now. Clippers and Pelicans. I'm not fading the Clippers, but you're off a huge win against the other night or last night against Phoenix. I mean, are you going to have that focus to take care of the Pelicans? We'll see, but I'm not stepping in front of the Clippers. Charlotte, Chicago, no line. Minnesota, Houston. Minnesota on the road off a loss to New Orleans. We'll see. I kind of like Houston usually when they're at home, especially as a dog. So maybe I lean Rockets there. Portland, Dallas. Dallas just totally destroyed them last night. They could do it again. I mean, Portland's had some ugly results here the last two, but I don't know if I'll bet it. Orlando, Denver, we'll see. Denver on a back-to-back. Miami, Phoenix, no line. Miami is a sneaky covering team here, and even without Butler sometimes, and you're still seeing Miami get the job done. Credit to them. Toronto, Sacramento is over in that game. Raptors playing with more pace with Quickly and Barrett, better offensively, worse defensively. Sacramento will score their points, I'm sure. So I actually lean Toronto here. They're trying to make it 3-0. Straight up in ATS with these new guys, these new faces, Quickly and Barrett, and I certainly like the over in that Toronto-Sacramento game. Detroit, Golden State, this could be a spot to take Detroit tomorrow night because you're going to have especially if Golden State upsets Denver tonight. It could be just a ripe spot to maybe take a shot with Detroit, who are, they were roughed up by Houston, but they were competitive last night against Utah, and it would be a tricky spot for Golden State. So not saying I'll bet Detroit, but at least lean slightly to them right now. And then Memphis and the Lakers. Do you want to lay the Lakers, in that game? Do you want to trust Memphis, though? Memphis has kind of hit a rough patch here the last few games, but if I had to, I'd take the points. I'd probably still prefer Memphis plus the points than laying any points with the Lakers right now. I see the Lakers 5.5-point home favorites in that game against Memphis tomorrow night. Not a chance. Am I laying anything with the Lakers right now?
All I could think when I hear you break that down is I got a lot of work to do for tomorrow.
Yeah. Pretty good to get all that in like 2 minutes.
Yeah, for sure.
It is. Wham Bam, I'll pass it to you, man. What is looking like for Friday?
All right, so yeah, man, we're gonna have to go through this a little bit slower than my boy did. I don't know, man. That was
rapid fire picks.
Yeah, very so fast, very so fast. So, start off with the Atlanta Indiana game. Obviously, high tempo game. Both duel of point guards there. The boy just cooked the Milwaukee Bucks, the Indiana Pacers. The boy just did that. I feel Tyrese Halliburton, and he may be back on a little tear here. Maybe back on the tear here going up against these two teams here. So I think Tyrese points may be looking good there in this game. Next game with the Utah Jazz, Boston. Obviously, Boston should just hold it down there and win. I'm not going to think too hard about that. The next game, as far as that next game, I agree with Babano. I think the Knicks are alive as fuck on that 76ers game. We actually were talking about that. That's one of the interesting games we were talking about before the game, before the show. So I do like the Knicks there. Yeah, I'm never gonna trust Brooklyn, but this is actually a game where you won't see OKC be. I think you won't see OKC really care too much. I think they may be sitting back, seeing that Brooklyn's just like an inferior opponent, and they may get caught. They may get caught in that game. So it's a tricky game, I think, in that one. As far as the Washington Cleveland game, I don't want nothing to do with it, so I'm not gonna waste y'all time. The next game with the Clippers, New Orleans, that is gonna be a interesting game. You got to continue to ride the Clippers, though, right? Because I mean, as spotty as the Pelicans have been, I think they have the better team. And if this was a playoff game, I think the Pelicans can win this playoff series. I just think that the Clippers right now in the form that they're in, I'm not betting against them, so there's no way. I actually put this hoodie on for the reason today. I think that the Hawks. I feel like the Rockets are a lie tomorrow. I think that this Minnesota team, they lost 2 games in a row, bro. So maybe they find themselves on a downward spiral here. We've seen them overachieve. I would say they are one of the overachievers for sure. Start of the year there. I didn't expect them to be this really good there, but Houston, I think they could get them. That bum fight in Charlotte and Chicago, I don't want nothing to do with that. Portland and Dallas as well. I don't want nothing to do with that game as well. But this next game in Denver, coming back at the house, I think if they do have the back-to-back, they have the back-to-back love, and they may lose this first quarter today. If they lose this first quarter today, I think I'm going to be really live with that first quarter look with the Denver Nuggets tomorrow against the Orlando Magic. I think the Orlando Magic may be just ready to go home. They done with this road trip shit. And then as far as Jaquez, he did what he did something yesterday, but he didn't go over the points. His points was 16.5. But I think Jaquez Jr. is pretty much in prime to probably be one of the better Heat players here. So I think he gets a good matchup against the Phoenix Suns. Maybe take his props against Phoenix. And I think Phoenix may be live too. I think I agree with Bebeno there. I think Phoenix may be live there to just win off. And over with the Toronto game. And I'm not trusting the Lakers at all, but it seems very sketchy though, because I think the Lakers can hold these guys in the paint. If you can hold Memphis in the paint, you're going to just beat them by outright. Because Ja right now, he don't really have too much help once he's on the bench. His team really needs help. So Memphis really needs their guys to come back here. They really can't compete right now. And I think the Lakers, even though they suck ass, Darvin Ham is trying to find a way to lose the game, trying to find a way to get himself fired. I think the Lakers still win this game and figure out a way to cover this game because they could hold the paint down. And then the next game with Detroit, ain't no way I'm taking Detroit here. I think Golden State hold it down. They win and cover. Easy game there for them. So Detroit sucks ass, and that's how I end it.
That's a good point by Kaniska here. I mean, Lakers aren't making shots right now. Grizzlies aren't making shots right now. That could be under 228.5 waiting to happen in that game.
For sure.
Bricks. All right, my turn to see what I'm gonna do with this extremely lengthy card for Friday. Cleveland and Washington, we just saw these teams. I don't remember. Does anybody remember what the total was on that game?
On which one?
Washington.
It was 239.5, and it got over. Close, but it got there. Just got over the total.
Okay, they opened it right back at 239.5. I'm probably gonna avoid that game. Wizards made me look like an idiot yesterday, and I just don't want anything to do with them. So I'll pass on that game.
140-101.
That's crazy. Yeah,
because of Cleveland. Yeah,
barely.
Look, Saturated telling me don't do it, Skee. Wizards better be on the hell no list. Yeah, I'm not touching the Wizards tomorrow. I'll be far away from that game. Pacers and Hawks. I do think the Hawks are in a good rhythm right now. They got Jalen Johnson back, and they couldn't cover a game when he was out, so they do have that going for them. Pacers, I feel like they're playing really well too right now, so that one is tough. This is the highest total I've seen at 264.5, and it's crazy, but I still can't say I'd bet the under. I still think they can get over that number. So I guess that one I'll have to do a little bit more work. I'm sorry about that. Boston and Utah, absolutely not. Utah plus 14. Do they know Utah has won what 6 of their last 7 games, and Utah's healthy right now? Boston might not even care to win that game by that big of a margin. I'll take the team that's playing good basketball right now. Why the hell is Utah get 14 points? They must not have been watching Utah basketball lately. They must think it's Utah from a month ago. So that's how I feel about that game. New York and Philly. I heard the guys say they like New York a little bit here. It's tough because I still think I still think Philly can get it done. Philly's been so dominant at home. Like I really don't want to step in front of them. That's just kind of how I feel. I would probably lean a little bit more towards Philly. I think if I like the Knicks, I'd bet them first half, get in and get out because I know the Sixers have been a really strong second half team. OKC and Brooklyn, I do not want to bet against OKC. Brooklyn has covered what one game their last. Well, they covered the last game actually. First the Jazz, so they've covered what 2 games out of their last like 11 or 12. I don't want to be betting on Brooklyn right now.
Home
Not
off a
the
road
last.
trip too.
Yeah, first game home off a road trip, a flat spot.
That's a
OKC or pass. Clippers in New Orleans. I don't want to be betting against the Clippers. It's a pick'em game, and that's very surprising to me. But I know New Orleans has been playing well too. It just it boils down to I think Clippers have more shot makers, and I think the Clippers will be able to defend New Orleans a little better than New Orleans can defend the Clippers. So lean Clippers there. Charlotte, Chicago. Charlotte off of a win as a plus 15 dog. That I mean, maybe they start to trend in a better direction now. At least that shows you that they're trying. And Chicago really banged up right now. Thinking about it out loud, Chicago's supposed to get Zach LaVine back tomorrow.
You say that,
That's
yeah.
a red flag for me. I want to go bet against them immediately.
And Kobe White unders now because Zach is back. That's true. Good call.
There you go. So I would be looking more towards Charlotte, probably catching some points there. And Minnesota, Houston. Houston's been really good at home. Minnesota defense has been struggling on the road. Houston, without Dylan Brooks, has gone over every game except the last game, I believe. Houston, I probably look towards that game to be more of an over than under type game. I don't know that I want to lay with Houston against Minnesota, but I do think they can score. Portland, Dallas, I will not be involved in at all. Orlando, Denver, I try to find reasons to bet Denver, but I absolutely don't want Orlando in that game. Miami, Phoenix, or actually depends on the line. Maybe I will want Orlando. Denver on a back to back. We shall see. I think I'll need to wait on that one just to see the line. There's no lineup right now. Miami and Phoenix. I need to know if Kevin Durant is in. If Kevin Durant is in, give me Phoenix all day. And regardless of Kevin Durant's status, I'd probably lean a little. Well, actually, regardless of Kevin Durant's status, I'd probably like an over in that one as well. Toronto, Sacramento. I want absolutely nothing to do with Sacramento. I'm looking to fade them. I'm looking to fade them. So Toronto will be. I'll be looking hard at Toronto tomorrow. I really want to get there on plus 4.5. Detroit, Golden State. I don't think Golden State will care to win by that big of a margin tomorrow. I think they really care about tonight's game more. So lean towards Detroit because of that. Memphis and Lakers. Memphis, they were playing really well when Ja came back. Kind of falling off a little bit here lately. I know he missed a couple games, but the Lakers haven't given us a whole lot to. I mean, Lakers have no consistency and they're not playing good basketball right now. So why would I want to lay 5.5 with them? I would lean more towards the Grizzlies in that game, and I probably would lean towards over. I mean, the Lakers starting lineup, the new one that they have, definitely less defense, and I think Memphis can take advantage. So lean over, lean Grizzlies, and that's how I initially see Friday's card. So I think we did a pretty good job of breaking it down initially, and now it is about that time. We move over to best bets for the show. And per usual, I'm gonna slide over to my guy Wham Bam. So I think it's a player prop. But let the people know what's the best way to get paid today.
Yeah, I'm very close on doing it to be the under that first quarter under that you was talking about with the Nuggets. I really like that under 59.5. I am on that minus 105, but I'm gonna take Wemby, man. We're gonna go with the birthday boy, bro. They gotta have that boy playing 30 minutes tonight, man. I think it's gonna be a close game. I am also gonna be on that plus 10.5 with the Spurs and over 248.5. But with the best bet for the day is gonna be Victor Wembanyama double plus 120. Got to get 10 rebounds, man. He's averaging just about 10 rebounds over the last 6 games. So let's get to the money with that. Time we had a double was in December 17th. We got to get to it on his birthday, right? Plus 120, Victor Wembanyama double. I think you're muted, bro.
Up.
Yeah, my bad. Good stuff though. Wham Bam says the birthday boy is gonna get it done, and I will go next, per usual, when Dutch is off of the show. And for my best bet, I think I know what Ian's best bet is going to be. So I don't want to use Ian's best bet. My best bet for the show, I'll go with the Spurs. I don't believe the Bucks should be laying this number, especially unrested. Every game so far when they've been unrested, they haven't won by double digits. Um, Bucks not good. They don't play good versus lesser competition. They just don't show up. And this is the big red flag. Spurs last 5 games have been a better defensive rated team. Shows you how poor Milwaukee's defense is. If they're not playing any defense, how can you expect them to cover double digits? So best bet for myself will be Spurs plus 10.5. And last but not least, I'll pass it over to my guy Babano, and usually help us out when Dutchy's not here. So let the people know what the best bet is for today, and take us home.
Whoops. Yeah, you're right, Skee. Best bet is indeed going to be, there's only 2 games. So, and like I said, Golden State, I like them, but I don't want to make them best bet material. Don't like them that much. What I really like the most here are this 2 games on the slate. Milwaukee, San Antonio. We'll go over 248.5. Bucks and Spurs. We cashed the over the last time these 2 teams played in Milwaukee last month. I don't trust there to be enough defense really on either side. Spurs trending over all season long at home. I think Milwaukee will get theirs. And I think San Antonio back home, we've seen them, have their better shooting nights and their better production offensively at home this season. And I expect them to do enough to contribute as well. So Milwaukee, San Antonio, over 248.5 for my best bet for the OG NBA show that we have every Tuesday and Thursday. And as usual, with Dutch gone, I got to go. So I've actually got the glasses as well. So we got to do this right here. Dutch would. So shout out to everyone in the chat. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share the motherfucking video. Y'all stay fresh, stay blessed, and let's stay putting these motherfucking bookies to rest. Yeah, man.